Zara Bennett never imagined that walking into her ex-husband's birthday party would change everything, but when she stepped through those ballroom doors in that emerald dress, every eye in the room turned to stare. 2 years ago, Evan Cole had abandoned his curvy black wife because he was embarrassed to be seen with her, choosing his reputation over their love and walking away from their 4-year-old son. But tonight, something was different tonight. He would have to face the biggest mistake of his life standing right in front of him, radiating confidence and beauty he'd been too blind to see. What Evan didn't know was that Zara held the power to either destroy him publicly or give him the second chance he didn't deserve. The question wasn't whether he'd beg for forgiveness, it was whether she'd be strong enough to risk her heart again for the man who shattered it. Subscribe and tell me what city you're watching from. I love connecting with viewers around the world. Zara Bennett stood in front of the bathroom mirror at the Ocean View Hotel. Her fingers smoothed the emerald dress one more time. The fabric hugged her curves just right, not too tight, not trying too hard, just her. She took a deep breath. The air tasted like salt from the harbor outside. "You can do this," she whispered to her reflection. Her brown skin glowed against the green dress. Her hair fell in soft waves past her shoulders. She looked good. She felt good. That had taken years of work after everything fell apart. The hallway stretched long in front of her as she left the restroom. Her heels clicked against the marble floor. Each step brought her closer to the ballroom where Evan's 30th birthday party was happening. She hadn't seen him in 2 years, not since the day he packed his bags and left their little apartment, the day he said he couldn't handle the way people looked at them anymore. The ballroom doors were heavy oak with brass handles. Through the glass panels, she could see people laughing and talking, everyone dressed up nice, everyone belonging there. She pushed open the door. The first thing she noticed was how quiet it got. Not silent, but the kind of quiet where people stop mid-sentence and look. Conversations didn't stop completely, but they got softer, more careful. Zara lifted her chin and stepped inside. The room was beautiful, white tablecloths and flowers everywhere. A banner hung from the ceiling that said, "Happy 30th Evan," in gold letters. Maybe 50 people filled the space. Some she recognized, others she didn't. "Zara?" She turned to see Derek Shaw walking toward her. Derek had been Evan's friend since college. He was the one who planned this whole party. His face showed surprise, but his smile was real. "Hey, Derek." She hugged him quickly. "Thanks for the invitation. Honestly, I wasn't sure you'd come." He glanced around the room. "Does Evan know you're here?" "No. Is that okay?" Derek nodded fast. Of course it's okay. You look." He paused, seeming to search for the right words. "You look really happy, Zara." "I am happy." And she meant it. It had taken time, but she was. Across the room, she spotted Evan. He stood near the bar with a small group of people. He wore a dark blue suit that fit him perfectly. His brown hair was shorter than she remembered. His smile was the same, though, wide and easy. He was in the middle of telling some story that had everyone laughing. Then he saw her. The story stopped. His face went blank for just a second. Then something else took over. Something that looked like hope mixed with fear. He excused himself from the group and started walking toward her. Each step seemed to take forever. "You came," he said when he reached her. "I said I might." They stood there looking at each other. 2 years of silence stretched between them like a deep river neither one knew how to cross. "Zara, well. Look what the cat dragged in." The voice came from behind Zara. She turned to see Patricia Wells, one of Evan's work friends. Patricia had never liked Zara, made that clear from day one. Patricia looked Zara up and down slowly. "That dress is bold, very bold for someone your size." The words hit like ice water. Zara felt her stomach tighten, but before she could respond, she saw Evan's face change. His jaw got tight. His hands made fists at his sides. "Patricia," his voice was sharp. "Don't." "What?" "I'm just saying, you're just leaving." Evan's words came out firm and cold. "Now." Patricia's mouth opened and closed like a fish. She looked around for support, but everyone had suddenly become very interested in their drinks. She huffed and walked away. Zara watched her go. Her heart was beating fast, but not from fear. From something else. Evan had stood up for her, in front of everyone. He'd never done that before. "Zara, I'm sorry." She had no right. "It's fine." She looked at him, really looked at him. "But thank you for saying something." He nodded. I should have done that a long time ago." The words hung in the air between them, heavy with everything they hadn't said, everything that had gone wrong. "Would you like to step outside?" Evan asked. "Get some air?" The balcony overlooks the harbor. Zara glanced around the room. People were still watching them, still whispering behind their hands. Sure, the balcony was peaceful. The sun was starting to set over the water. Orange and pink painted the sky. A cool breeze played with Zara's hair. "It's beautiful out here," she said. "Yeah, it is." But Evan wasn't looking at the sunset. He was looking at her. They stood at the railing side by side, not touching, but close enough that she could smell his cologne, the same one he'd always worn. "How have you been?" he asked. "Good, really good, actually." She meant it. "The bakery is doing well. I have regular customers now, people who come in just to chat. I'm glad. You always made the best cookies." She smiled a little. "Still do." "And Theo?" Her whole face lit up when she said their son's name. "He's amazing. He's 4 now. Talks non-stop. Asks about everything. He loves dinosaurs and trucks and—" She stopped. "He asks about you sometimes." Evan's breath caught. "He does?" "Of course he does. You're his dad." The word hit Evan like a punch to the chest. Dad. He was a dad. But he'd been a terrible one. He'd walked out on his son, just like his own father had walked out on him. "I think about him every day," Evan said quietly. "Both of you." Zara studied his face. He looked older, more tired. But there was something different in his eyes, something that hadn't been there before. "If you want to say hi to Theo, I can call now," she said. "Marisol's watching him at her place." Evan's eyes went wide. "You'd do that? Let me talk to him. He's your son, Evan. I never wanted to keep you away from him." The words were simple, but they cut deep, because they both knew the truth. Evan had kept himself away. When he left Zara, he'd left Theo too. Zara pulled out her phone. Her fingers moved quickly over the screen. In seconds, it was ringing. "Hey, Mari, is Theo awake?" Zara looked at Evan. "His dad wants to say hi." Marisol's voice came through the speaker, surprised but not angry. "Hold on, let me get him." They could hear footsteps. Then, Marisol calling Theo's name. "Mama!" A little boy's voice filled the air between them. Evan's breath stopped. His son, his little boy. "Hi, baby," Zara said, her voice going soft and warm. "I have someone who wants to talk to you." She held the phone so they could both see the screen. In a second, Theo's face appeared. Big brown eyes like his mama's. Evan's nose and chin. He was holding a piece of paper covered in crayon marks. "Theo," Zara said gently, "do you remember your daddy?" Theo looked at the screen. His little face got serious as he studied Evan's face. "Daddy?" "Hi, buddy." Evan's voice was thick. He had to swallow hard before he could keep talking. "What are you drawing there?" Theo held up his paper. "It's a dinosaur, a big one with teeth." "Wow, that's the best dinosaur I've ever seen. What's his name?" "Bob," Evan laughed. A real laugh. "Bob the dinosaur. I like that. And look," Theo pointed down at his feet. "New shoes." The phone tilted as Theo tried to show off his sneakers. They were bright red with cartoon characters on the sides. "Those are awesome shoes, Theo. Very cool. Aunt Mari bought them for me. They light up when I walk. Can you show me?" Theo started marching around in circles. The lights in his shoes blinked with each step. Red and blue and green. "Very impressive," Evan said. "You're getting so big. I'm 4 now." "I know. A very big boy." In the background, they could see Marisol moving around her kitchen. She waved when she noticed them watching. "Hi, Evan," she called out. "Hi, Marisol. Thank you for letting me talk to him." She nodded but didn't say anything else. Marisol had always been protective of Zara. She'd been furious when Evan left. But she wasn't stopping this call either. "Daddy, are you coming to see me?" Theo asked. The question hit Evan like a truck. He looked at Zara. She kept her face neutral, but he could see the caution in her eyes. "I'd like to, buddy, if that's okay with your mama." Theo looked at someone off camera. "Mama said maybe." "What's maybe?" "Maybe means we'll see," Zara said gently. "Theo, honey, it's time for dinner," Marisol called from the kitchen. "Oh, do I have to?" "Yes, you have to," Zara said. "Tell Daddy bye for now." "Bye, Daddy. I'll show you more dinosaurs next time." "I'd love that, Theo. I love you." "Love you too." The call ended. Zara put her phone away. They stood there in silence for a minute. Evan was crying. Not sobbing, but tears were running down his face. "Thank you," he said. I can't. Thank you for letting me talk to him. He's been asking about you more lately. I think he's old enough now to wonder where you are. Evan wiped his face with his sleeve. He's beautiful, Zara. He's perfect. Yeah, he is. Evan, where did you go? Man? They turned to see one of Evan's college friends sticking his head out onto the balcony. We're about to do the toasts. Derek's been looking for you. Evan looked at Zara. I have to go back in for a few minutes. But can we talk after? Just for a little bit? Zara checked her watch. I promised Marisol I'd be back by 6 to help with bedtime. That's fine. Just 10 minutes? Please? She nodded. 10 minutes. Back inside, the room had gotten louder. More people had arrived. The bar was busier. Derek was standing near a small stage with a microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, Derek called out, if I could have your attention for a few minutes. The room quieted down. Evan made his way to the front. Zara stayed near the back, close to the door. We're here tonight to celebrate our friend Evan's 30th birthday, Derek continued, and I thought it would be fun to take a little trip down memory lane. Behind Derek, a projector screen came down from the ceiling. The lights dimmed. I put together a little slideshow of Evan through the years, some embarrassing photos, some sweet memories, all the good stuff. The first picture flashed on the screen. Evan, as a baby, covered in birthday cake. Everyone laughed. More pictures followed. Evan in Little League. Evan at prom with some girl Zara didn't recognize. Evan in college with Derek and their friends. Then Evan's wedding photo appeared. It was from 4 years ago. Their little ceremony at the courthouse. Zara in a simple white dress. Evan in his best suit. Both of them smiling so wide their faces looked like they might crack. But it was a bad photo. The lighting was weird. The angle made Zara look bigger than she was. Her dress bunched in unflattering places. The room went dead quiet. Someone in the back laughed. Just a little sound, but it carried in the silence. Zara stood perfectly still. Her chin lifted, her shoulders straight. She wouldn't run. She wouldn't hide. Not anymore. Evan's face had gone white. His hands shook as he reached for the microphone. The laughter spread. Not mean, exactly, but uncomfortable, like people didn't know what else to do. Vivian Cole, Evan's mother, stood near the front. Her face showed exactly what she thought of that photo. The same look she'd had at the actual wedding, like someone had put spoiled milk in her coffee. Evan took the microphone from Derek. His hands were shaking, but his voice came out steady. That photo isn't a joke, he said. My choices were. The room went completely silent. Evan looked right at Zara across the crowded room. That photo shows the best day of my life, and I threw it away because I was a coward. Someone coughed. A glass clinked against a table, but nobody said a word. I failed her, Evan continued. Not the other way around. Zara felt her breath catch. This wasn't the Evan she remembered. The Evan she'd been married to would have made excuses, would have tried to laugh it off, would have let everyone think what they wanted to think. But this Evan was standing in front of 50 people and taking responsibility. I let other people's opinions matter more than my family. I chose what looked good over what was good, and I lost everything that mattered because of it. Derek quickly turned off the projector. The lights came back up. Evan's mother looked like she wanted to disappear into the floor. That's enough, someone near the bar muttered. But Evan wasn't done. He looked at Zara again. Zara, would you step outside with me? Just for those 10 minutes we talked about? Every eye in the room turned to her. She could feel their stares like heat against her skin. But she nodded. They walked out of the ballroom together, past all the whispers, past all the stares, past Vivian Cole's cold, angry face. In the hallway, it was quiet again. Just the two of them and the sound of their footsteps on the marble floor. You didn't have to do that, Zara said. Yes, I did. Evan stopped walking and turned to face her. I should have done it 4 years ago, the day we got married, the first time someone made a comment. Every time after that. Why didn't you? The question hung between them, simple and terrible. Because I was ashamed, he said. Not of you, of myself, of what people thought of me for being with you. And instead of dealing with that, I took it out on you. Zara felt tears starting. She blinked them back. I told myself I was protecting you by leaving, that you deserved better than someone who couldn't stand up for you. He laughed. But it wasn't a happy sound. Really, I was just protecting myself. Evan, I know I don't have the right to ask for anything. I know I hurt you in ways I can't fix. But seeing Theo today, hearing him say, He loves me. Evan's voice broke a little. I want to be his dad, Zara. I want to be the dad he deserves. Zara looked at him for a long time. This man who had broken her heart, who had walked away when things got hard, who had chosen his reputation over his family, but also the man who had just stood up in front of everyone he knew and claimed her, claimed them, finally. I need time to think about this, she said. How much time? I don't know. I need to talk to Marisol. I need to think about what's best for Theo. Can I see him again? Maybe at your place? With you there, of course. Whatever you're comfortable with. Zara checked her phone. It was almost 6. I have to go, she said. I promised Marisol I'd be back by 6. Okay. Evan looked like he wanted to say more, but he didn't. They walked to the elevator in silence. When the doors opened, they both got in. Can I text you? Evan asked as they rode down. Yeah. You can text me. The lobby was busy with people checking in and out. A wedding party was taking pictures by the fountain. Outside, Zara's car was parked in the hotel lot. Evan walked her to it, but kept his distance. Thank you, he said as she got in. For coming tonight, for letting me talk to Theo, for listening. Zara started the engine. Through the open window, she said, I'll think about it, Evan. That's all I can promise right now. That's more than I deserve. She drove away, without looking back. 20 minutes later, Zara pulled into Marisol's driveway. Her sister lived in a duplex in a quiet neighborhood, the kind of place where kids could play outside and neighbors looked out for each other. Marisol was waiting on the front porch. How did it go? She asked, as Zara got out of the car. I don't know. Different than I expected. Different how? Before Zara could answer, Theo came running out the front door. Mama, you're back. I talked to Daddy on the phone. I know, baby. I was there, remember? He liked my dinosaur. And my shoes. He said they were cool. Zara hugged her son tight. He smelled like the cookies Marisol had been baking. Like home. Did you have fun talking to Daddy? Yeah. Can he come see my dinosaur books? I have lots of them. Zara looked at her sister over Theo's head. Marisol's face was carefully neutral. Maybe, baby. We'll see. Mama, what's maybe? Maybe means we need to think about it first. Theo seemed satisfied with that answer. He ran back into the house to show Zara the tower he'd built with blocks. Marisol followed them inside. Her place was small but cozy. Pictures everywhere of family and friends, the smell of dinner, cooking, a place where people were loved. So, Marisol said once Theo was distracted with his blocks, tell me what happened. Zara sat down at the kitchen table. She told her sister everything. The party, Patricia's comment, the slideshow, Evan taking the microphone. He stood up for you, Marisol asked. In front of everyone. Yeah, and not just that. He took responsibility. Said it was his fault, not mine. Huh, Marisol stirred something on the stove. That's new. That's what I thought too. What are you going to do? I don't know. Part of me wants to believe he's changed, but part of me remembers how bad it hurt when he left. And Theo? They both looked at the little boy building towers. He was humming to himself, completely happy in his own world. He deserves to know his dad, Zara said quietly. If Evan can be a real father to him, that's a big if. I know. Zara's phone buzzed. A text from Evan. Thank you for tonight. I know I don't deserve another chance, but if you're willing to let me try to be the father Theo needs, I'll do whatever you ask. Whatever boundaries you set, I just want to be part of his life. Zara showed the text to her sister. What do you think? Zara asked. Marisol read it twice. I think he sounds different, but people can sound different in a text message. The real test is what he does. Yeah? But Zara, if you decide to give him a chance, you do it on your terms, not his mother's, yours. That night, after Theo was in bed, Zara sat in her small apartment and thought. The place wasn't fancy, but it was theirs. She'd worked hard to make it a home. Pictures of Theo covered the refrigerator, his artwork, his school photos, a few pictures of Zara and Marisol together, no pictures of Evan. She'd thrown them all away the day he left, too painful to look at. But tonight, she tried to remember the good times. There had been good times, before the pressure got to be too much, before other people's opinions started mattering more than their love. Her phone buzzed again. Another text from Evan. I know I have no right to ask, but would you consider letting me see Theo this week, even just for a few minutes? At your place, with you there. I want to meet him properly. Zara stared at the message for a long time. Finally, she typed back, Thursday afternoon, 4 p.m., 1 hour, at Marisol's house. She'll be there too. His response came back immediately. Thank you. I won't let you down. Zara put her phone away and got ready for bed. She had no idea if she was making the right choice, but she knew one thing for sure. Theo deserved a father who would fight for him, who would stand up for him, who would choose him over everything else. If Evan could be that father, maybe they had a chance. If he couldn't, at least she'd know she tried. As she turned off the lights, Zara whispered a prayer. For wisdom, for protection, for the strength to do what was best for her son. And maybe, just maybe, for the chance at something she'd thought was lost forever. Hope. Thursday afternoon came faster than Zara expected. She spent the morning baking at her little apartment, trying to keep her hands busy. Flower therapy, Marisol called it. When Zara was nervous, she baked. By noon, she had 3 dozen cookies cooling on her counter. Her phone had been quiet since the party. No more texts from Evan. That was good, she told herself. It meant he was respecting her space, but it also made her wonder if he was having second thoughts. At 3:30, she loaded Theo into the car. Are we going to see Daddy? He asked for the 10th time. Yes, baby. Remember what we talked about? Daddy's going to visit for a little while at Aunt Mari's house. Can I show him my trucks? If you want to. Theo had been talking non-stop about the visit since Tuesday. He'd picked out his favorite shirt, the blue one with the dinosaur on it. He'd lined up all his toy trucks by the front door, ready to show off. Marisol was waiting on her porch when they pulled up. She gave Zara a quick hug. You okay? She asked. Nervous. That's normal. You sure you want me here? Yeah, I need backup in case. In case what? Zara shrugged. In case I'm making a mistake. At exactly 4 o'clock, a blue Honda pulled into the driveway. Evan got out slowly, like he wasn't sure he was in the right place. He wore jeans and a green button-down shirt. Nothing fancy. His hair looked like he'd run his hands through it a few times. He carried a small gift bag. Theo pressed his face to the window. That's Daddy. That's Daddy. Evan walked up the front steps. Before he could knock, Theo opened the door. Hi, Daddy. Evan dropped to his knees right there on the porch. Hi, buddy. They looked at each other for a moment. Father and son, really seeing each other for the first time in 2 years. I brought you something, Evan said, holding up the gift bag. For me? For you. Theo took the bag and peeked inside. His face lit up. A truck! A big one! He pulled out a red fire truck, almost as long as his arm. It had lights and made siren sounds when you pressed a button. Do you like it? Evan asked. I love it. Thank you. Daddy! Before anyone could stop him, Theo threw his arms around Evan's neck. Evan closed his eyes and hugged back, careful not to hold too tight. Zara felt her throat get thick. She blinked hard. Come on, Marisol said. Let's go inside. They settled in the living room. Theo sat on the floor with his new truck, making engine noises. Evan sat on the edge of the couch like he might need to run. Can I get you something to drink? Marisol asked. Coffee? Water? Water would be great. Thank you. Zara sat in the chair across from him, close enough to talk, far enough to feel safe. How was work today? She asked. It seemed like a safe question. Good. Busy. I'm working on a house design for a family with 3 kids, lots of storage and play space. He paused. It made me think about what I missed, what our house could have looked like. Daddy, look. Theo drove the fire truck across the coffee table. It goes really fast. Wow. Can it make the siren sound? Theo pushed the button. The truck wailed like a real fire engine. He giggled and did it again. That's the best fire truck I've ever seen, Evan said. Do you like fire trucks? I like all trucks. And dinosaurs. And cookies that Mama makes. Your Mama makes the best cookies in the world. Theo nodded seriously. She makes them for people, and they pay her money. That's called a business, buddy. Your Mama has her own business. What's your business, Daddy? I help people design their houses. I draw pictures of what their house could look like, and then they build it. Can you draw me a picture? Evan looked at Zara. She nodded. Sure. Do you have some paper and crayons? Theo ran to get his art supplies. While he was gone, the adults sat in awkward silence. He's amazing, Evan said finally. Smart and funny and... He's a good kid, Zara agreed. He looks like you. Same eyes, same smile. He has your stubborn streak. That made Evan smile a little. Poor kid. Theo came back with a whole box of crayons and a stack of paper. He dumped it all on the coffee table. "What should I draw?" Evan asked. "A house, with a big yard for trucks." Evan picked up a blue crayon and started sketching. His hands moved easily across the paper. He'd always been good at drawing. The house that took shape was simple but nice. 2 stories with a big front porch, trees in the yard, a driveway where Theo could drive his trucks. "Can it have a dog?" Theo asked. "What kind of dog?" "A big one." Evan added a golden retriever running in the yard. "What about a swing?" "Good idea." A tire swing appeared hanging from one of the trees, and a garden where Mama can grow things. Evan glanced at Zara. She used to talk about having a garden someday, a place to grow herbs and vegetables. "Of course," he said, adding neat rows of plants behind the house. When the drawing was done, Theo held it up like treasure. "Can we live in this house, Mama?" The question hit the room like a bomb. Evan's face went red. Marisol shifted in her chair. Zara felt her heart speed up. "It's just a picture, baby," she said gently. "Just pretend." "But I like it. Can't we pretend we live there? All of us?" Zara looked at Evan. He was staring at his hands. "Maybe we can pretend," she said. "But just pretend, okay?" "Okay." Theo went back to playing with his trucks. The crisis passed, but the tension stayed. At 5 o'clock, Zara said it was time for Evan to go. "Already?" Theo asked. "Daddy has to go home now. But maybe you'll see him again soon." "Tomorrow?" "Not tomorrow, buddy," Evan said. "But soon, okay?" "Okay." Theo hugged the fire truck to his chest. "Thank you for my truck, Daddy." "You're welcome." At the door, Evan turned to Zara. "Thank you for letting me come, for letting me spend time with him. He had fun. Would it be okay if I came again? Maybe this weekend?" Zara hesitated. "Let me think about it." "Of course. Whatever you decide." After Evan left, Marisol made dinner while Zara played with Theo, but her mind kept wandering to the man who'd just walked out the door. He'd been different today. Careful, respectful. He hadn't pushed for more time or made promises he might not keep. He'd just been present with his son. That night, after Theo was asleep, Zara's phone started buzzing. Text messages, lots of them. The first one was from her friend Carmen. "Girl, did you see the neighborhood chat? Someone posted a picture of Evan at Marisol's house." Zara's stomach dropped. She opened the neighborhood app. There it was, a photo taken from across the street. Evan kneeling on Marisol's porch, hugging Theo. You could see his face clearly, and Theo's, and the joy on both their faces. The comments were already starting. "Isn't that Zara's ex-husband? I thought they were divorced. He's the one who left, right? Maybe they're getting back together. She's too good for him. He looks happy to see that little boy." Zara scrolled through them all. Most were just curious. A few were supportive, but there were others. "Some men just can't stay away. Once a quitter, always a quitter. I hope she doesn't take him back. He already proved what he thinks of her." Her phone rang. Derek's name on the screen. "Zara, I just saw the neighborhood chat. I'm really sorry. Did you post it?" "What? No, of course not. Someone else took that picture." "Who?" "I don't know, but I'm trying to find out. This isn't right. You guys deserve privacy." "It's fine, Derek. It's not your fault. Are you okay?" Zara looked at the comments again. More had been added in just the few minutes they'd been talking. "I'm fine. It's just nosy neighbors being nosy. If there's anything I can do." "Thanks. I appreciate that." After she hung up, Zara's phone buzzed with a text from Evan. "I saw the neighborhood chat. I'm sorry. I should have been more careful. If you want me to post something to clear the air, just say the word." Another text came right after. "I'll correct anything that needs correcting. This is your call." Zara stared at her phone. The old Evan would have ignored the gossip, would have pretended it wasn't happening. This Evan was offering to face it head-on. She typed back, "Let me think about it." But before she could send it, she deleted the message and wrote something else instead. "Thank you for offering. I'll handle it." The next morning, Zara woke up to 17 new notifications. The neighborhood chat had been busy overnight. Most of the new comments were supportive. Zara's a grown woman. She can make her own choices. That little boy deserves to know his father. Maybe people can change. Maybe he grew up. It's none of our business anyway. But there were still a few that stung. A leopard doesn't change its spots. She's just going to get hurt again. What kind of man leaves his wife and kid in the first place? Zara made coffee and tried to focus on her day. She had orders to fill. Cookies for the community center. Cupcakes for someone's birthday party. But every time her phone buzzed, she jumped. Around 9, Marisol called. "How are you holding up?" she asked. "I'm fine, just trying to ignore the noise." "Good plan. People love to talk. Give them a week, and they'll find something else to gossip about." "I hope so. What are you going to do about Evan?" "What do you mean?" "He asked to see Theo again this weekend. Are you going to let him?" Zara had been thinking about that all morning. "I think so. Theo had a good time yesterday. And how do you feel about that?" "Scared, hopeful, confused." Zara laughed. "All at the same time? That sounds about right." That afternoon, Zara texted Evan, "You can see Theo on Saturday. Same rules as before. Marisol's house. I'll be there too." His response came back in minutes. "Thank you. I won't let you down." Saturday came with perfect weather. Sunny, but not too hot. Theo wore his dinosaur shirt again and spent 20 minutes picking out which trucks to show his dad. This time, Evan brought sidewalk chalk and coloring books. He sat on the front steps with Theo and helped him draw a rainbow on the walkway. Zara watched from the porch swing. Something inside her chest felt tight. Not bad tight, just full, like a balloon that was almost ready to pop. "Mama, come draw with us," Theo called. "I'm good watching. Please." Evan looked up at her. "There's plenty of room down here." So she joined them on the sidewalk. The concrete was warm under her knees as she picked up a piece of yellow chalk. "What should I draw?" she asked. "A flower," Theo said. "A house," Evan suggested. "How about a sun?" Zara drew a big circle and started adding rays around it. "That's a happy sun," Theo said. "Look how big it's smiling." As they drew, neighbors walked by. Most smiled and waved. A few stopped to admire Theo's artwork. One older woman, Mrs. Patterson from down the street, lingered. "That's lovely, dear," she said to Theo. "Are you an artist like your daddy?" "My daddy draws houses." "How wonderful." Mrs. Patterson looked at Evan, then at Zara. "It's nice to see families spending time together." After she walked away, Evan and Zara exchanged a look. "Was that?" Evan asked. "A statement of approval from the Neighborhood Watch Committee?" "Yes." "Is that good or bad?" "With Mrs. Patterson?" "It's good. She's got influence around here." They kept drawing until Theo got distracted by a butterfly in Marisol's flower garden. Then Evan and Zara found themselves sitting on the steps together, watching their son chase the orange and black wings. "The neighborhood chat calmed down," Zara said. "I saw. Thank you for not letting me make it worse. You wanted to help. That matters." They sat in comfortable quiet for a while, the kind of quiet that used to happen between them when they were dating, when being together felt easy. "Zara?" "Yeah? I know I don't have the right to ask this, but would you consider letting me take Theo somewhere? Just for an hour or two, maybe to the park or for ice cream?" Zara's first instinct was to say no, but then she looked at Theo, who was now sitting in the grass trying to convince the butterfly to land on his finger. "Not yet," she said, "but maybe. Maybe we could all go somewhere together. The three of us." Evan's face lit up. "Really? Maybe. I'm not promising anything. What about the market, Saturday morning? I know you used to love going to the farmer's market." She had loved that. Fresh vegetables and flowers, local honey, people selling things they'd made with their own hands. Let me think about it. That night, Zara lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. Her phone sat on the nightstand, silent for once. The neighborhood chat had moved on to arguing about trash pickup schedules, but her mind wouldn't settle. Seeing Evan with Theo felt right in a way that scared her. They looked like a family. They acted like a family. But families were built on more than good moments and sidewalk chalk. They were built on trust and commitment and choosing each other even when it was hard. Could Evan do that now? Could he choose them over his mother's opinions, over what his friends thought, over his own fear? More importantly, was she brave enough to find out? Her phone buzzed. A text from Evan. "Thank you for today. Theo is lucky to have you as his mum." She stared at the message for a long time before typing back, "He's lucky to have both of us, when we're at our best." "I want to be at my best for him, for both of you." "I hope so, Evan. I really hope so." Sunday morning, Zara made pancakes for breakfast. Theo sat at their little kitchen table, still in his pajamas, telling her about his dream. "I dreamed we lived in the house Daddy drew, and we had a dog named Charlie, and a garden with carrots. That sounds like a nice dream. Can we get a dog, Mama? Dogs are a lot of work, baby. I'll help. I'll feed it and walk it and give it baths." Zara smiled. We'll see. After breakfast, she made another decision. She texted Evan, "The farmer's market next Saturday, 10 a.m. Meet us at the main entrance." His response was immediate. "I'll be there." As she got Theo dressed for the day, Zara felt something she hadn't felt in a long time. Hope mixed with fear, excitement mixed with caution. She was giving them a chance. Not a guarantee, not a promise, just a chance to see if the man Evan was becoming could love them the way they deserved to be loved. It was terrifying. It was thrilling. It was the first real step towards something that might actually be called a future. That afternoon, while Theo napped, Zara called her best friend Sarah. "I'm thinking about giving Evan another chance," she said without any introduction. "Okay," Sarah said carefully. "What changed your mind?" "He's different. The way he talks to Theo. The way he looks at me. He stood up for me at his party, in front of everyone. People can pretend to be different when they want something. I know. That's what I'm afraid of. But Theo lights up when he sees his dad. And maybe everyone deserves a second chance. Some people do, some people don't. The question is, which one is Evan?" That was the question, wasn't it? The one that kept Zara awake at night and distracted during the day. "I guess I'm about to find out," she said. "Just promise me something." "What?" "Promise me you'll protect yourself this time. Don't lose yourself trying to make him into who you want him to be." Zara looked at the picture of her and Theo on the refrigerator, her son's huge smile, her own face, confident and strong. She'd built a good life for them, a safe life, a happy life. If Evan wanted to be part of it, he'd have to prove he belonged. "I promise," she said, and she meant it. Saturday morning at the farmer's market felt like stepping back in time. Zara remembered coming here with Evan when they were dating, how he'd carry her bags and steal bites of whatever she bought, how he'd joke with the vendors and make her laugh until her sides hurt. But that was before the pressure got too much, before other people's opinions mattered more than their love. Theo bounced beside her as they walked toward the main entrance. He wore his favorite red shirt and had been talking non-stop since breakfast about showing Daddy the vegetable place. "There he is." Theo pointed across the parking lot. Evan stood by the entrance, checking his phone. He wore jeans and a blue t-shirt, nothing fancy. When he saw them walking toward him, his whole face changed, like someone had turned on a light inside him. "Hey, buddy." He knelt down as Theo ran to him. "Daddy, we're going to see all the food." "I can't wait." Evan looked up at Zara. "Thanks for this." "Don't thank me yet. He gets excited around so much food, he might be bouncing off the walls in an hour." "I can handle bouncy." They walked into the market together. The smell hit them first. Fresh bread and coffee, flowers and herbs, the good smell of food made with care. Theo's eyes went wide. "Wow, pretty cool, right?" Evan said. Their first stop was the flower stand. Theo wanted to smell everything. The vendor, an older man with dirt under his fingernails, let him stick his nose into bunch after bunch of flowers. "These smell like candy," Theo announced, sniffing some sweet peas. "Those are my wife's favorite," the man said. "She says they smell like happiness." Evan bought a small bunch. When he handed them to Zara, she felt her cheeks get warm. "Thank you," she said. "They're beautiful." At the fruit stand, Theo wanted to try everything. The woman running the booth cut up samples of strawberries and peaches. Juice ran down his chin as he grinned. "These are the best strawberries ever," he declared. "Want to take some home?" Evan asked. "Can we, Mama?" "Sure, baby." Evan bought 2 baskets, more than they needed for 3 people. But Zara didn't say anything. They walked slowly through the market. Theo ran ahead, then back to them, then ahead again, like a puppy who couldn't contain his excitement. "He's amazing," Evan said quietly. "So curious about everything." "He gets that from you," Zara said without thinking. Evan looked surprised. "You think so? You used to be like that, always asking questions, always wanting to know how things worked." "I remember." They stopped at the honey stand. The beekeeper let Theo look through a magnifying glass at a piece of honeycomb. Theo asked a million questions about bees and honey and how it all worked. Evan listened to every word, asked follow-up questions, made Theo feel like his curiosity was the most important thing in the world. Watching them together made Zara's chest feel tight again. Good tight. The kind of tight that meant maybe, just maybe, they were doing something right. "Can we get bread?" Theo asked. "The kind that smells good?" At the bakery booth, Theo pressed his face to the glass case. Fresh loaves and pastries filled the shelves. "What do you recommend?" Evan asked the baker. "The sourdough is fresh this morning, and the cinnamon rolls are still warm." "What do you think, Theo?" "Cinnamon rolls. Good choice." While they waited for the baker to box up their rolls, Theo spotted something. "Look, that man has a dog." A golden retriever sat patiently next to his owner at the vegetable stand. Theo was fascinated. "Can I pet him?" he asked. The dog's owner smiled. "Sure. His name is Buster. He loves kids." Theo knelt down and carefully stroked Buster's head. The dog's tail wagged so hard his whole body wiggled. "He likes me," Theo giggled. "He sure does," the owner said. "You're good with animals." "I want a dog just like this one," Theo announced. Evan and Zara looked at each other over their son's head. "Dogs are a big responsibility," Zara said gently. "I know. I'll feed him and walk him and teach him tricks." "We'll see," Evan said. "Maybe someday." The word "we" hung in the air between them, heavy with possibility and hope. As they finished walking through the market, people started to notice them. Zara could feel the stares, the whispered conversations behind hands. "Is that Zara with her ex-husband? They look happy together. I wonder if they're getting back together." At first, it made Zara tense, but then she noticed something. Evan wasn't pulling away. He wasn't looking around nervously or making excuses to leave. Instead, he stayed close. When Theo grabbed both their hands and swung between them, Evan didn't let go. When an older woman they knew from the neighborhood approached them, Evan smiled and said hello. "Zara, how nice to see you," the woman said. "And this must be little Theo. My, how big you've gotten." "This is my daddy," Theo announced proudly. "How wonderful. It's nice to meet you," she said to Evan. "Nice to meet you too," Evan replied. "Theo's been showing me around the market. He's quite the tour guide," the woman beamed. "Children see everything with such fresh eyes, don't they?" After she walked away, Zara realized her shoulders had relaxed. Evan had handled that perfectly. No awkwardness, no shame, just normal conversation. "That went well," she said. "She seems nice. Mrs. Chen. She's been coming to this market for 20 years, knows everyone. Good to know." They found a small table in the food court area and shared the cinnamon rolls. Theo got sticky fingers and a happy face covered in icing. "These are so good," he said with his mouth full. "Don't talk with your mouth full, baby," Zara reminded him. "Sorry, Mama." Evan cleaned Theo's face with a napkin. "Better, better." As they sat there, Zara felt something she hadn't felt in years, like they were a real family, not pretending, not trying too hard, just normal. It was scary how much she wanted it to be real. "What are you thinking about?" Evan asked quietly. "Nothing important." You looked far away for a second. "Just, this is nice. All of us together like this." "Yeah," he said. "It really is." On the way back to their cars, Theo walked between them again. This time, when he reached for their hands, Zara didn't pull away. "Thank you," Evan said as they reached her car. "For today, for letting me be here. Thank you for coming." "Can Daddy come have dinner with us?" Theo asked suddenly. The question caught them both off guard. "Maybe another time, baby," Zara said carefully. "When?" She looked at Evan. He was watching her face, waiting for her answer. "How about Sunday?" she heard herself say. "Just a simple dinner, nothing fancy." "Really?" Theo bounced on his toes. "Really?" She looked at Evan. "If you want to, I'd love to. What can I bring?" "Just yourself." That night, after Theo was in bed, Zara sat in her kitchen and wondered what she'd just done. Inviting Evan to dinner felt huge. Like crossing a line she wasn't sure she was ready to cross. But seeing him at the market today, seeing how natural he was with Theo, how comfortable he seemed being seen with them in public, it gave her hope. Her phone buzzed. A text from Evan. "Thank you for today. I can't remember the last time I felt that happy." She typed back, "Theo had a great time. What about his mum? Did she have a good time too?" Zara stared at the question for a long minute before answering. "Yeah, she did." Sunday came too fast. Zara spent the morning cleaning her apartment and planning a menu. Nothing too fancy. Spaghetti and meatballs, garlic bread, a salad. Comfort food that Theo would eat without complaining. At 5 o'clock, there was a knock on her door. Evan stood in her hallway holding a bottle of wine and a small potted plant. "For dinner," he said, holding up the wine. "And for your windowsill," he added, showing her the plant. "It's an herb garden, basil and oregano and thyme. You remembered I wanted to grow herbs." I remember a lot of things. Theo came running from his room. Daddy, you're here. Hey, buddy. Something smells amazing in here. Mama made spaghetti, my favorite. The apartment felt smaller with Evan in it, but not in a bad way. More like it was complete now, like a puzzle piece had been put back where it belonged. Can I help with anything? Evan asked. You can open the wine if you want. Glasses are in the cabinet above the sink. While he did that, Zara finished getting dinner ready. It felt strange having him in her kitchen, familiar but different, like muscle memory from another life. This place is really nice, he said, looking around. It's small, but it works for us. It feels like home. The words made something flutter in Zara's chest. They ate dinner at her little table by the window. Theo chattered through the whole meal, telling Evan about preschool and his friends and his favorite TV shows. Miss Jenny says I'm really good at counting, he announced. Want to hear me count to 20? Absolutely. Theo counted slowly and carefully, holding up fingers to help himself keep track. When he got to 20, he raised his hands in the air like he'd won a race. That was perfect, Evan said. You're so smart. Mama helped me practice. Your mama is pretty smart too. After dinner, they played on the living room floor. Evan helped Theo build a tower with blocks while Zara cleaned the kitchen. She could hear them laughing and talking. Theo's high voice mixed with Evan's deeper one. It sounded like music she'd forgotten she missed. Mama, come play with us, Theo called. I need to finish the dishes. I'll finish them later, Evan said. Come build with us. So she joined them on the floor. The three of them built castles and towers and bridges. When Theo knocked down a tower by accident, Evan showed him how to make it even bigger the next time. It's okay to start over, Evan said. Sometimes that's how you make something better. Zara wondered if he was talking about more than just blocks. At 8 o'clock, it was Theo's bedtime. Do I have to? He asked. Yes, you have to, Zara said. Go brush your teeth. Can Daddy read me a story? Zara looked at Evan. If he wants to, I'd love to. 20 minutes later, Evan came out of Theo's room and closed the door softly behind him. He's out, he said. Kid sleeps fast. He had a big day. They stood in her small living room, suddenly awkward again. With Theo there as a buffer, it had been easy to pretend this was normal. But now it was just the two of them. I should probably go, Evan said. You don't have to. I mean, you can finish your wine if you want. Okay. They sat on her couch. Not close, but not far either. The wine had made Zara feel warm and relaxed. Thank you, Evan said, for dinner, for letting me spend time with him like this. He loves you, you know, even after. Everything. He still loves you. I love him too, more than I knew was possible. What about me? The question slipped out before Zara could stop it. Do you still love me? Evan's face got serious. Zara, it's okay. You don't have to answer that. Yes, I do. He turned to face her completely. I never stopped loving you. Not for one day. Not for 1 minute. Then why did you leave? Because I was scared. Because I was weak. Because I thought other people's opinions mattered more than what we had. And now? Now I know that what we had was the best thing that ever happened to me. And I threw it away because I was too much of a coward to fight for it. Zara felt tears starting. She blinked them back. I was so hurt when you left, she said quietly. I know. God, I know. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I trusted you. I believed you when you said you loved me, no matter what anyone else thought. You should have been able to believe that. You should have been able to count on me. They sat in silence for a minute, the weight of 2 years of hurt and anger and lost time pressing down on them both. What do you want from me, Evan? What do you want this to be? I want another chance. I want to prove that I've learned from my mistakes. I want to be the man you and Theo deserve. And if it gets hard again, if people talk, if your mother disapproves, then I choose you. I choose our family, no matter what. You say that now. I mean it now. And I'll mean it tomorrow, and next week, and next year. Zara wanted to believe him, wanted it so much it physically hurt. I need time, she said. This is all happening so fast. Take all the time you need. I'm not going anywhere. Evan finished his wine and got ready to leave. At the door, he turned back. Zara? Yeah? I know I don't have the right to ask this, but would you consider coming to counseling with me? Together? I've been going by myself for 6 months, but I think we need to do some work together. You've been in therapy? Since 3 months after I left. It took me that long to realize how badly I'd screwed up. That surprised her. The old Evan would never have gone to therapy, would have thought it was a waste of time. I'll think about it, she said. Okay. He kissed her cheek softly before he left. Just a whisper of a kiss, but it made her skin tingle. After he was gone, Zara cleaned up the rest of the dinner dishes and thought about everything that had happened. The market, dinner, Theo, falling asleep with a huge smile on his face. It had felt so normal, so right. But normal and right were dangerous when you'd been hurt before. They made you forget to be careful, made you believe things might actually work out this time. Her phone buzzed, a text from Evan. Sweet dreams. Thank you for the best day I've had in 2 years. Zara smiled despite herself. Maybe, just maybe, it was time to stop being so scared. Maybe it was time to see if love really could win this time. The next few days passed in a blur of texts and phone calls. Evan checking in about Theo's day, asking if he could pick him up from preschool, offering to help with groceries. Small things, normal things, the kind of things a father and ex-husband might do if they were trying to rebuild trust. On Wednesday, Zara said yes to counseling. They scheduled their first session for the following week. On Thursday, Evan brought lunch to her apartment while Theo was at preschool. Just sandwiches from the deli down the street, but they sat at her kitchen table and talked for 2 hours. About everything, about nothing, about who they used to be and who they were becoming. For the first time in years, Zara felt like she was talking to her best friend again. On Friday afternoon, Evan called with a different request. I know this might sound weird, he said, but would you and Theo want to come to my apartment? I have something I want to show you. What kind of something? It's hard to explain. Will you trust me? Zara looked around her small, safe apartment, the life she'd built for herself and Theo, walls that had protected them when everything fell apart. Okay, she said, but just for an hour. Evan's apartment was in a complex across town, nice but not fancy, clean and organized in a way that surprised her. The old Evan had been messy. It's not much, he said as he let them in, but it's home. It's nice, Zara said, and she meant it. Theo ran straight to the big window that looked out over a small courtyard. Look, there's a playground. Want to go play out there in a little bit? Evan asked. Yeah. First, I want to show you and your mama something. Okay. Evan led them to his bedroom. In the corner sat a large storage box, old and beat up, with tape holding some of the edges together. I've been carrying this around for 2 years, he said. Never opened it, never threw it away. Just kept it. What's in it? Zara asked. Our life. The life we had before I ruined everything. He knelt down and opened the box slowly. The first thing Zara saw was a wooden spoon, the one she'd used to stir pasta sauce in their first apartment. She'd forgotten all about it. Under that, photo strips from a booth at the county fair. Them making silly faces and laughing. A menu from the Chinese restaurant where they had their first date. A ticket stub from the movie they saw on their 6-month anniversary. Her recipe for chocolate chip cookies, written in her own handwriting on an index card. Every small piece of their relationship, carefully saved. You kept all this? Her voice came out, whispered. I couldn't throw it away. Even when I thought I'd never see you again, I couldn't let go of it. Zara picked up one of the photo strips. They looked so young, so happy, so sure that love was enough to handle anything. Why are you showing me this now? Because I want you to know that leaving you didn't mean I stopped caring. It meant I was too weak to fight for what we had. Tears were running down Zara's face now. She didn't try to stop them. I threw everything away, she said. Every picture, every memory. It hurt too much to look at. I know. I don't blame you for that. Theo had been looking through the box too. He held up a Polaroid picture. Is this you and Mama? It was from their wedding day. Not the unflattering one from the slideshow, but a candid shot someone had taken. Zara laughing at something Evan had whispered in her ear, both of them glowing with happiness. Yeah, buddy, that's from the day we got married. You look happy. We were happy, Zara said softly. Can we be happy again? The question hung in the air. Simple from a 4-year-old's mouth, but loaded with everything they'd lost and everything they might find again. Evan looked at Zara. I'd like to try. If your mama wants to. What do you think, Mama? Can we try to be happy? Zara looked at her son, at the man who'd broken her heart and might be putting it back together, at the box full of memories that proved love had existed here once. Yeah, baby, she said. We can try. That night, Zara couldn't sleep. Her mind kept going back to that box, to all those little pieces of their life that Evan had saved. It changed something in her. Some wall she'd built around her heart started to crack. Maybe he really had changed. Maybe he really was sorry. Maybe people could learn from their mistakes and become better. At midnight, she texted him, "Thank you for saving those memories. I thought they were gone forever." His response came immediately. "Some things are too important to throw away, even when it hurts to keep them." "I'm scared, Evan." "Me too. But maybe being scared together is better than being alone." Zara stared at her phone for a long time before typing back. "Maybe it is." For the first time in 2 years, she fell asleep thinking about the future instead of protecting herself from it. Love was scary. Hope was dangerous. But maybe, just maybe, they were worth the risk. The next week flew by like a dream. Evan picked Theo up from preschool twice. They went to the park and fed ducks at the pond. He helped Zara carry groceries up to her apartment and stayed for dinner without being asked. Small things that felt huge. On Wednesday, Marisol hurt her wrist at work. Nothing serious, just a sprain, but enough that she couldn't lift anything for a few days. Evan stepped up without being asked. He brought soup from the deli, picked up prescriptions from the pharmacy, read bedtime stories to Theo so Zara could help Marisol ice her wrist. "You don't have to do all this," Marisol told him as he washed her dishes. "I want to help. You've been taking care of my family when I couldn't. It's the least I can do." Marisol studied his face. "You're different than you were before." "I hope so. Good different. More. Solid." That Thursday, Evan surprised them with tickets to the aquarium. "I thought Theo might like to see the sharks," he said. Theo's eyes got huge. Real sharks. And jellyfish and sea turtles and lots of other cool stuff. The aquarium was crowded with families. Kids running around with excited voices. Parents chasing after them with tired smiles. For the first time, Zara felt like they belonged with those families, like they were normal people doing normal things together. Theo pressed his face to every glass tank, asked a million questions about every fish they saw. Why do they swim upside down? How do they breathe underwater? Can I touch one? Evan answered every question patiently, even the ones he didn't know the answers to. "Let's ask the person who works here," he'd say. "They'll know." At the touch tank, Theo got brave enough to pet a stingray. The smooth, slippery feeling made him giggle. "It feels like jelly," he announced. "Pretty cool, right?" Evan said. "Can we get one for our house?" "I think they need to stay in the ocean, buddy." In the jellyfish room, the tanks glowed like underwater lamps. Pink and blue and purple light danced across their faces as the jellyfish floated like ghosts. "They're beautiful," Zara whispered. "Yeah, they are." But Evan was looking at her, not the jellyfish. Something had been building between them all week. Little moments, hands touching when they passed. Theo something, eyes meeting across a room, the feeling that they were moving toward something bigger. In the gift shop, Theo picked out a stuffed shark and a book about ocean animals. While he looked at the toy displays, Evan pulled Zara aside. "There's a photo booth over there," he said. "Want to take some pictures? The three of us?" "Sure." The photo booth was tiny. They squeezed in together, Theo on Zara's lap, Evan's arm around both of them. The camera counted down. 3, 2, 1. The first picture was normal. All of them smiling at the camera. For the second one, Theo made a silly face, crossed his eyes and stuck out his tongue. The third one captured Zara and Evan, laughing at their son's silliness. The fourth one was different. Theo had turned to look at something outside the booth. For just a moment, it was Zara and Evan looking at each other. Really, looking. When the pictures printed out, Evan tore the strip in half. "One for you, one for me?" he asked. "Okay." Outside the aquarium, it had started to rain. Not hard, but steady. They ran to the parking garage, laughing as they got wet. "That was the best day ever," Theo declared as they reached their cars. "Pretty good day," Zara agreed. "Can we do it again sometime?" "We'll see, baby." As they stood by Zara's car, something shifted. The rain created a curtain of privacy around them. Theo was distracted by a puddle he wanted to jump in. Evan stepped closer to Zara, close enough that she could smell his cologne, close enough to see the water droplets on his eyelashes. "Zara, yeah? Can I kiss you?" The question made her heart race. She hadn't been kissed in 2 years, hadn't wanted to be kissed by anyone but him. "Yes," she whispered. He leaned down slowly, gave her time to change her mind. But she didn't want to change her mind. When their lips touched, it was soft and careful, like he was afraid she might disappear, like she was something precious that could break. But then she kissed him back, and careful turned into real. 2 years of missing each other poured into that kiss, all the love that had never really gone away. When they broke apart, both of them were breathing hard. "Wow," Zara said. "Yeah, wow. Mama, Daddy, look how big this puddle is." They stepped apart, but the feeling stayed. Electric and warm and full of possibility. That night, after Theo was in bed, Evan texted, "Today was perfect. Thank you." Zara wrote back, "It was pretty great. I've been thinking about that kiss." Good thoughts or bad thoughts? Very good thoughts. Amazing thoughts. Zara smiled at her phone. For the first time in years, she felt like a woman, instead of just a mom, felt beautiful and wanted and alive. "I've been thinking about it too," she typed. "Good. Evan, yeah? I think I'm ready to try this for real. Not just for Theo. For us." Her heart pounded as she sent the message. She was putting herself out there, making herself vulnerable again. His response came fast. "Are you sure?" "I'm scared, but I'm sure. I love you, Zara. I never stopped loving you. I love you too. Even when I was angry, even when I was hurt, I never stopped loving you." They texted until midnight, about hopes and fears and what they wanted their future to look like, about taking things slow but taking them somewhere real. Friday morning brought a crisis neither of them expected. Zara's phone rang at 6 a.m., Marisol's name on the screen. "Mari? What's wrong? I need to go to my mum's. Dad had another heart episode. They think this might be it." Zara sat up in bed. "Oh my God, when?" "I'm leaving in an hour. But Zara, I can't take Theo with me. The hospital doesn't allow kids his age, and I might be gone for weeks. Of course, he'll stay with me. But you have work, you have orders to fill, and your apartment is so small. We'll figure it out." After they hung up, Zara sat in the quiet of her bedroom and felt panic rising. She had 3 big orders due this week: a birthday party, an office meeting, and a church event. There was no way she could watch Theo full-time and get everything done. She could cancel the orders, but that would mean losing money they needed, and disappointing clients who were counting on her. Her phone buzzed. A text from Evan. "Good morning, beautiful. How are you?" Without thinking, she called him. "Zara, what's wrong?" She told him about Marisol's family emergency, about the work she couldn't miss, about feeling overwhelmed and scared. "Let me help," he said immediately. "Evan, you have your own job. I can work from home for a few days. I can watch Theo while you bake. I can help with whatever you need. You don't understand how much work this is. I'll be baking for 12 hours straight some days. Then I'll be there for 12 hours. Zara, we're a team now. Let me be part of this team." 2 hours later, Evan showed up at her apartment with a suitcase and his laptop. "You're moving in?" Theo asked excitedly. "Just for a little while, buddy, while Aunt Mari is away, to help your mama with her work. Can we build the big tower again, after Mama finishes her baking for today?" And that's how Zara found herself with a live-in partner for the first time in 2 years. It was strange at first. Evan taking up space in her small kitchen, his shoes by the door, his coffee cup in her sink. But it was also wonderful. He made breakfast while she started the morning's batch of cookies. He played with Theo in the living room while she rolled out pie crusts. He did laundry and dishes without being asked. At lunch, he made sandwiches for all 3 of them. They ate at her little table, Theo chattering about his morning cartoons. "This feels nice," Zara said quietly. "Yeah," Evan agreed. "It really does." That afternoon, while Theo napped, they worked side by side in her kitchen. Zara decorated cupcakes while Evan answered emails. Every so often, their arms would brush or their eyes would meet across the small space. "You're really good at this," he said, watching her pipe perfect roses onto a cake. "I should be. I've been practicing for years. I missed watching you create things. You get this look on your face when you're concentrating, like nothing else in the world exists. I missed having someone to share it with." That evening, they made dinner together. Evan chopped vegetables while Zara seasoned the chicken. Theo helped by setting the table and arranging napkins. "We're like a real family," Theo announced. "We are a real family," Evan said. After dinner, they gave Theo a bath together. Evan held towels while Zara washed hair. They read bedtime stories, taking turns with different character voices. When Theo was finally asleep, they collapsed on the couch together. "Thank you," Zara said, For today. For stepping up when I needed help. Thank you for letting me. For trusting me with this. She curled up against his side. It felt natural, like muscle memory. I forgot how good we were together, she said. When we weren't fighting or scared or letting other people get in our heads, we were good together. We can be good together again. That night, Evan slept on the couch. But the next morning, when Zara woke up, she found him already in the kitchen making coffee and starting breakfast. How did you sleep? She asked. Good. Better than I have in months. Actually, the couch isn't too uncomfortable. It's not about the couch. It's about being here, with you and Theo. The second day was easier. They found a rhythm. Evan would entertain Theo during Zara's heavy baking hours, then help with packaging and labeling when she was done. They took breaks to walk to the park, to get ice cream, to sit on the front steps and watch Theo ride his bike. I could get used to this, Zara said as they watched their son practice pedaling without training wheels. Me too. Even the chaos, the flour everywhere, Theo's endless questions, especially that stuff. That night, after Theo was asleep, they watched a movie together, something light and funny that made them both laugh. Halfway through, Zara realized she was completely relaxed, not waiting for the other shoe to drop, not worrying about what came next, just enjoying the moment. When the movie ended, they stayed on the couch talking about everything and nothing, about their hopes for Theo, about their fears for themselves, about what it meant to get a second chance at love. Can I ask you something? Zara said. Anything. What would have happened if I hadn't come to your party, if I'd just stayed away? Evan was quiet for a long time. I think I would have spent the rest of my life regretting it, wondering what if, knowing I'd lost the best thing that ever happened to me. I almost didn't come. I changed my mind 3 times. What made you decide to go? Theo. He kept asking about you, and I realized I couldn't protect him from missing his father forever. He deserved to know who you really were, even if it hurt. And what did you find out? Who am I really? Zara looked at this man, who had shared her space for 2 days, who had helped without complaining, who had put their family's needs before his own. You're the man I fell in love with, she said, the one who got lost for a while but found his way back. I love you, he said simply. I love you too. This time when they kissed, it was different, not desperate or careful, but sure, like coming home after a long trip. The third day brought their biggest test yet. Zara had her largest order due, 50 cupcakes and a 3-layer cake for an office retirement party. She'd been working since 5 a.m. and was running behind. Theo woke up cranky and clingy. He didn't want to play by himself, didn't want to watch TV, wanted Mama's attention every 5 minutes. Mama, I'm hungry. Mama, can you play with me? Mama, why are you always working? By 10 a.m., Zara was close to tears. The cake layers weren't rising right. She'd dropped a whole batch of cupcakes, and she still had hours of decorating ahead of her. Hey, Evan said gently, why don't you take a break? I'll handle Theo. I can't take a break. This has to be done by 2 o'clock. Then let me help. Tell me what to do. You don't know how to decorate cakes. I can learn, or I can do something else. Pack boxes, clean up, whatever you need. Zara looked around her disaster of a kitchen, flour on every surface, dishes piled in the sink, Theo pulling at her apron, asking for the 100th time if he could lick the bowl. Okay, she said. Help. Evan took Theo to the living room and set up an elaborate obstacle course with couch cushions and pillows. He played monster and superhero and airplane. He kept their son entertained and happy while Zara focused on her work. When Theo got hungry, Evan made lunch. When he got tired, Evan put on a quiet movie and rubbed his back until he fell asleep. Meanwhile, Zara found her groove again. The second batch of cupcakes came out perfect. The replacement cake layers were light and fluffy. Her decorating flowed like art. By 1 o'clock, everything was done, packed and labeled and ready to deliver. We did it, she said, collapsing into a chair. You did it, Evan corrected. I just tried not to get in your way. No, we did it. I couldn't have finished without you. Yes, you could have. You're stronger than you know. Maybe. But I didn't have to be, because you were here. That afternoon, Evan helped her deliver the order. They loaded everything into her car and drove across town together. When the client saw the beautiful cake and perfect cupcakes, her face lit up. These are gorgeous. Thank you so much. On the way home, Theo fell asleep in his car seat. Evan reached over and took Zara's hand. I'm proud of you, he said. For what? for building this business, for being such an amazing mom, for being brave enough to let me back into your life. I'm proud of you too. For what? For showing up, for helping without being asked, for proving that people really can change. That night, they put Theo to bed together again. But this time, when they came out to the living room, Evan didn't head for the couch. Zara? Yeah? Would it be okay if... Would you mind if I slept in your room tonight? Just to sleep. I'm not asking for anything else. I just want to be close to you. Zara's heart jumped. It was a big step. But after 3 days of living like a family, it felt right. Okay, she said. They got ready for bed quietly, brushed teeth side by side at the bathroom sink, changed into pajamas in the same room. When they climbed into bed together, it felt like the most natural thing in the world. Evan pulled her close, and she settled against his chest. His heartbeat was steady under her ear. His arms were strong around her. "Good night," he whispered, kissing the top of her head. "Good night." For the first time in 2 years, Zara fell asleep feeling completely safe. The next morning, she woke up to the smell of coffee and the sound of Theo's laughter from the kitchen. Evan was making pancakes, silly ones shaped like animals. Theo was giggling as he tried to guess what each shape was supposed to be. "That one's an elephant," he declared. "Close. It's a dinosaur." "Dinosaurs don't look like that. Maybe this one has really big ears." Zara stood in the doorway watching them. Her heart felt so full it might burst. "Morning, beautiful," Evan said when he noticed her. "Morning." She kissed him quickly before sitting down at the table. "Mama, Daddy made a dinosaur pancake, and a car, and something that might be a butterfly." They looked delicious. As they ate breakfast, Zara felt something settle in her chest, a feeling of rightness, of home. This was what she'd always wanted, this easy morning routine, this sense of family and belonging and love. "I have something to tell you both," she said. They looked at her expectantly. "Aunt Murray called this morning. Grandpa is doing better. She'll be home in a few days." "That's wonderful," Evan said. "Does that mean Daddy has to go home?" Theo asked. Zara looked at Evan. "That's up to Daddy." "Well," Evan said carefully, "I could go back to my apartment, or," he paused, "maybe we could talk about me staying, if that's what everyone wants." "I want Daddy to stay," Theo announced. "What about you?" Evan asked Zara. "What do you want?" Zara thought about the last 4 days, how right it had felt to have him there, how much easier everything was when they were a team, how happy Theo had been, but also how scary it was to take such a big step, how much she was risking by letting him all the way back in. "I want you to stay," she said quietly. "But I'm scared." "Scared of what?" "Of everything. Of moving too fast, of you changing your mind, of this not working out." Evan reached across the table and took her hand. "I'm scared too," he said, "but I'd rather be scared with you than safe without you. What if we mess this up again? Then we'll try to fix it again. But Zara, I don't think we're the same people who messed up before. We've both grown, we've both learned. Can we take it slow, even if we're living together? As slow as you need, and if it gets too hard, if the pressure gets to be too much, then we talk about it. We work through it together. No more running away, no more letting other people make our decisions for us." Zara looked at her son, who was watching this conversation with big, hopeful eyes, then at Evan, who was looking at her like she was everything good in the world. "Okay," she said. "Let's try." "Really? Really?" Evan's face broke into the biggest smile she'd ever seen. He jumped up and spun her around the kitchen while Theo clapped and cheered. When he set her down, they were both laughing. "So what happens now?" Zara asked. "Now we figure it out as we go, one day at a time." "One day at a time," she agreed. That afternoon, they went to get some of Evan's things from his apartment, clothes and books and the photos from their memory box. "Where should we put these?" he asked, holding up the pictures. "On the refrigerator," Theo suggested. "Next to my drawings." So they did. Their old wedding photo next to Theo's latest masterpiece, the aquarium pictures beside his school art project, old memories mixing with new ones. That night, as they put Theo to bed in his own room, he looked up at them with serious eyes. "Are we a real family now?" he asked. "We've always been a real family," Zara said, "even when Daddy lived somewhere else. But now we're a family that lives together." "Now we're a family that lives together," Evan confirmed. "Good," Theo said, satisfied. "I like it better this way." "Me too," Zara said. "Me three," Evan added. After Theo was asleep, Zara and Evan sat on their couch in their living room, in their shared life, and talked about the future, about getting married again someday, about maybe giving Theo a little brother or sister, about finding a bigger place with a yard where they could all spread out. "I want to do this right," Evan said. "All of it. Being a husband, being a father, being part of this family. You're already doing it right," Zara told him. "Just by being here, just by choosing us." "I'll choose you every day," he promised. "And I'll choose you," she promised back. Outside, the world went on with its noise and opinions and judgments. But inside their little apartment, they had everything they needed. Love, hope, each other. It wasn't perfect. There would still be challenges and doubts and moments when they'd have to fight for what they'd built. But they'd do it together, as a family. Finally, completely, and for always.